Hi everyone. So today we'll be talking about how to divide decimals. So in our previous classes we've talked about adding, subtracting and multiplying the decimals. So today we'll be covering the division of the decimals. Okay. So now let's see. There are two parts of it. Okay. Let's see the first one. Okay. So if we have a decimal, say we have 5.8, okay, divided by 2. Okay, so here we have a decimal and we are dividing it by a whole number, that is 2. Okay, so we divide 5.8 by 2. So we can just directly divide the number and place the decimal at the correct place. So we have 2 into 2 is 4. So we subtract, we get 1, and then we have the decimal. So we place the decimal on top as well, and then we drop down the 8. Okay. So now for 18, 2 into 9 is 18. Okay. And we get 0. So the answer is 2.9. So whenever we are dividing a decimal by a whole number, we can do division and we need to just align the decimal point. Okay. Now another case is if we are dividing if we are dividing a decimal by a decimal. So here it was the divisor was a whole number, but here we have a decimal. So what do we have to do? First we need to make the divisor a whole number. So 4.32 is divided by 0.8. So what do we do? Okay. So if we are doing something to the right side, we have to do it to the left side as well. Or we can say if we are doing something to the inside, the dividend, we have to do it to the divisor as well. Okay. So now to make this a whole number, we will multiply it by 10. Okay. So we multiply this by 10 and we multiply this by 10. We are multiplying the whole equation by 10. Okay. So whenever we multiply by 10, the decimal moves to the right. So what does this become? So this will become 43.2 and this will become 8 because the decimal moved 1 to the right. And here the decimal moved 1 to the right. So now we have 43.2 divided by 8. So you now might think that we are changing the question, okay, but that is not the case. So if you see, if we have 4.32 divided by 0.8, okay, so when we multiply, so it's like an equivalent ratio or a fraction. So whatever we are doing to the numerator, we are doing to the denominator as well. So our problem remains the same. Okay, so now we have gotten to the first scenario. After multiplying by 10, it changes to the first scenario. We have a decimal divided by a whole number. Okay, so now we are dividing 43.2 divided by 8. So 8 into 5 is 40. We have 3 as the remainder. Now we got the decimal, so we put the decimal here as well. And now we bring down 2. So 8 into 4 is 32. Okay, so we get the answer as 5.4. Okay, so now let's look at some more examples. Now let's look at two more examples to see which other scenarios we might come across. Okay, So let's take 12 divided by 0.6. Okay. So here we have dividend as the whole number. But what was our rule? We have to make the divisor as the whole number. Okay. So what do we do again? We multiply both by 10. Okay. So if there is no decimal, if we multiply 12 with 10, what will it become? 120. And here the decimal will move 1 to the right. So this becomes 6. Now we do 120 divided by 6. So 6 into 2 is 12. And we get 0. And then this 0 can be directly brought down. So 6 zeros are 0. And we get the answer as 20. Okay. So yeah, it's not always that in the quotient we'll get the decimal as well. Okay, but if you want to write, you can also write it as 20.0, because we've learned that zeros behind the decimal, the ending trailing zeros behind the decimal, do not add any value to the number. It does not change its value. Okay, now let's look at another example. Okay, so let's say 21.6 divided by 1.5. Okay, so in here we multiply by both of them by 10. So this becomes 216, or we can even say it becomes 216 because the decimal point 0. Okay, and here we get 15. So either we can say it becomes 216 or 216.0. Okay, it's better to say it 0.0, because if we need to divide, we'll not get confused where to put the decimal. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so we are dividing 216.0 by 15. Okay, so 15 ones are 15. We subtract how much we have? 6. This 6 can directly be brought down. Now 15 fours are 60. Okay, so we have 6. We still have a remainder, so we need to solve it further. So because we put a decimal here, we know exactly what is the position of the decimal. And now we bring down 0. So again 15 fours are 60, and we get the remainder 0. So the answer is 14.4. Okay, so because we just have to make divisor as the whole number, so we just take it as 15. But if for dividend, if we need to keep solving it further, we can, even if we are moving the decimal to the right, we can use decimal 0. Here also we could have written 120.0. Okay, it's just that we would have not required it because we already got the remainder as 0. Okay, so I hope this is clear. If you have any questions, please write down in the comments below, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.